Hello and welcome back, my dear children. This is the new video for your new chapter, How the Dog Found Himself a New Master. In this video, you will learn about the story on what this chapter is based, and secondly, you will also get a mind map from where you can get an easy view of this chapter. Thirdly, you will get vocabulary from where you can enhance your vocabulary and improve your language. Fourthly, you will also get one exercise to solve. So let's begin with the story. As I told you earlier, this story is a folk tale. That means it is passed on from generation to generation. So this story will tell you how the dog found himself a new master, how the dogs have become slave to a man. Tell me one thing, do you know dogs and walls are closely related to each other? Once, dogs were also like walls. They used to roam freely, without any restriction, without any bar. So here is a story about how the dog became a tame animal. Do you know, dogs were once their own masters, just like walls, their kinsman. Kinsman, I told you earlier, kinsman means a relative. So dogs were also free. They used to be their own masters until a dog was born who was ill-pleased with this way of life, who was not happy at all to live in this way. He was sick and tired. He did not want to wander about by himself. He did not want to be frightened of those who were stronger than him. So one day he decided that he will become the servant of one who was stronger than anyone on this earth. In this way, he will never be frightened of anyone. So he started walking in the search of a master. And once he was walking, he met the kinsman of his, a big wolf, who was as strong as he was fierce. So the dog asked the wolf, "Can you be my master, please?" And the wolf says, "Why not?" And then they agreed on it. They both walked and walked. But all of a sudden, the dog was surprised to see the wolf hiding into the bushes. How can the strongest on this earth can hide from anyone? He couldn't believe that his master was afraid of a bear. And then the dog changed his mind. Now dog did not want to be a slave to this master who was not stronger enough, who was afraid of bear. Since the bear was stronger than the wolf, the dog decided to take up service with him, and he left the wolf and asked the bear to be his master. And the bear agreed to this, and they both went in the search of a herd of cows. Herd of cows means a group of cows, so that they can fill their stomachs. But when they were walking, when they found the herd of cows, they saw that they were stopped by a terrible noise. The cows were mooing loudly. Mooing loudly means they were making a loud noise. In panic, Bear looked out from behind and hid himself. And then the dog was surprised again. How can his master hide himself from anyone? How can his master be afraid? Isn't he the strongest one on this earth? To his surprise, the bear was also afraid. The bear was afraid of a lion. Then the dog decided to say goodbye to this master who is not the strongest on this earth, and decided to ask the lion to be his master. When he asked the lion to be his master, the lion agrees, and then dog stayed with him for a long time. The dog served the lion for a long time because he has believed, he has concluded that the lion is the strongest on this earth. It was his good life going on. He had nothing to complain about. No one even dared to touch the dog or offend him in any way because he was a slave of a lion. But one day, when two of them were walking, the dog was surprised. The dog was surprised to see the lion being afraid. Now lion is also afraid. How can he be my master? So he asks the lion, what is bothering him? Then the lion says, I smell a man. And then the dog was again astonished that how can my master be afraid of a man? Well then, the dog says goodbye to lion also, as he wanted a master who is stronger than anyone on this earth. And to this day, the dog has been slave, the most loyal servant of a man till now. The dog went to join the man and he stayed with the man forever. So this is the story that how the dogs have become slave to a man. So I hope you have understood the story, right? Let's have a quick recap. In this mind map, you can go through the chapter in a blink of an eye. As we all know, the moral of the story is being humble. We should always be humble and modest in our life, just as the way the dog is. So we learn this quality from dogs, and also in this mind map we can see the overview of the chapter is given. Once there were dogs who used to roam freely and they were their own masters. Then an ill-pleased dog was born. That means an unhappy dog was born who wanted to be a servant who was the strongest. So first he becomes a servant of a big wolf, but he was afraid of the bear. So he moves to the bear. Then he sees the bear is afraid of the lion. So he moves to the lion. But then he sees that the lion is also afraid of the man. So then he becomes a slave to the man. So till now, dogs are servant to the man. So this is the whole story that is explained through this mind map. Next, I have a vocabulary for you. In this list, we have the first word, ill-pleased. Ill-pleased means unhappy. That means sad. Second word, we have wandering. Wandering means roaming freely, moving here and there without any restriction. Then we have frightened. Frightened means being afraid, when you are afraid of anything. Then crept. Crept means crawl, just like a baby. Just like the way baby moves is the meaning is said as crawl. Then we have hastily. Hastily means quickly, very quick. Next, I have one question for you. This is the question on page number 21, exercise B. This is about the summary of the chapter. You will do this on your book only, and then you'll send me the picture with your assignment. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next videos of this chapter.